and support begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nurture and Support, episode 156. I'm Kelly Thul at KELLYTHUL on Twitter.
And I'm Mel at Karmic9 on Twitter.
And we are joined by a special guest, Tim Thul, TIMTHUL in real life. And so you say hi, Tim.
Hi there.
And we're going to be kind of covering something that he's been involved with. This is a very special Nurture and Support. It'll be a little bit different. We're going to do a single recommendation. It's related to some work that Tim's involved with that's called Welcome Home Haiti. And what I thought we'd start off with is him giving a bit of a description about Welcome Home Haiti. And I warned him, Mel, in advance that you'll pepper him with questions throughout. So feel free at any point to interrupt and ask questions to explore.
Uh-oh.
And we can do that. So Tim and I had been talking, and he was describing something he was doing, and he told me more about Welcome Home Haiti, and it was such a good thing, and it was such a kind of positive thing, and we nurture and support. By nurture and support, it seemed like very good content for us. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So we'll start off with Tim. Why don't you give a little bit of background on what Welcome Home Haiti is all about, how it got started, etc.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. While this is primarily a Christian organization, it certainly is not reserved solely to that. It's more of a humanitarian organization. Not many people know, but Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. They operate off of close to 80% unemployment. The literacy rate is pathetic. They have no infrastructure. They have a very corrupt government. And our church has long been involved with an organization called Piat Christian Church in the north part of Haiti, which is up by Cape Haitian, which is the second largest city in Haiti. And where this all came about is, for me personally, is a gentleman named Steve, who's a buddy of mine. I worked with him. We worked at the same company. Back in 2005, he goes, "Hey, you're going to Haiti with me." And I'm like, okay. And I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. And that particular trip was a construction trip. We went down and we put a couple of roofs on a schoolhouse. And Steve is married to Shelley, and they had two boys, Tyler and Troy. And Troy really loved Haiti. And a number of years ago, and I was trying to remember how long ago it was, and I can't remember, Troy was killed in a car accident. And so what Steve and Shelley and their oldest boy, Tyler, decided to do was go down to Haiti and build a playground for kids at the school. They thought that'd be a great way to honor their son. And they went down there and they did this, and they made relationships with some people, and they really got a heart for these Haitian people. And they looked around, they went around in the community, and they saw the living conditions that these people had to endure. And you could have a family of anywhere from 10 to 15 people living in a 10 by 12 stick and mud hut. And I've personally seen them. I've been on, I guess now 11 trips to Haiti. So I have personally seen this poverty, and it is, you cannot go there and see it and come back unchanged. So Steve and Shelley just got this heart for the Haitian people, and they decided that they were going to start this organization, which is called now Welcome Home Haiti. And they felt that they could build homes for families and do so in an affordable fashion that would give them a safe place for their children to be, a place to be out of the elements and those sorts of things. And so they started it as Steve and Shelley were both back here in the States. And what they found was they would be much more effective if they were on the ground in Haiti. So Steve retired at age 56 from the same organization that we work for. And he put all of his retirement income into this organization. And so they have now moved their family. Since Troy died, Steve and Shelley adopted 3 girls. And those 3 girls and Steve and Shelley have now moved down to Haiti. And what they do there is something amazing. They don't want to just go down and build a home and give it to somebody, because if you do that, people don't like grasp onto the whole idea of personal responsibility and caring for things. If you just give somebody something, they don't appreciate it. So what they have done is they have worked to create an economy. They have hired Haitian men to come and work for them. They do the cinder block walls for these homes. They build the blocks. Steve bought a block building machine. And so they can make as many as 1,500 blocks in a day. And they use these blocks for building the homes. They also sell these. And so they have created like these micro businesses and that the Haitians have gotten involved with. There's certainly a spiritual aspect to it. Steve and Shelley are very, very focused on that. So the men that they hire are required to attend a Bible study with them once a week. They have to abide by a very stringent code of behavior. What's a family unit look like? And it's not the male and the female is subservient to the male. It's not that. It is, we all have a role to play in a family, but a family is key. So what they have done is they have created these designs for these homes, and they're not gigantic. I mean, certainly by our standards, they're modest at best. Typically 3-bedroom homes. There's like a kitchen dining area. There's not indoor plumbing. There's typically an outhouse. Usually it's built on the property that the people owned right next to the stick hut that they had. So you can always kind of see the comparison and contrast of this is what we had and this is what we now have. They are invested in it. It's a very stringent vetting process. It has to be a husband and wife. It has to be a married couple that they build these homes for. They can be an extended family, most definitely. And more often than not, you'll see anywhere from 10 to 15 people. That could be anywhere from a great-grandparent to a grandparent and multiple children. So it's a super impressive thing. To date, they have built 85 homes, and I'm going to say it's probably been 2.5 years that they've been at this, and they have 7 more queued up for the fall. They employ 69 Haitian workers right now. It's gainful employment. These men get paid, and they're able to earn a living to support their families. They've started some side businesses, the block building, which I mentioned, the furniture that gets built for the homes, bunk beds, picnic tables, shelving units, things like that. They have patterns for all these things, so they build them for the homes, but they also have started to build kits and sell these kits to other Haitian families. I personally have gone on some of these. We built one home, and a group of 5 couples got together. It's $17,000 to build a home. And that is the home, the entirety of the home, plus all furnishings that go in it. And we raised the money. Thankfully, I work for an organization that matches. So I donated some funds, and the organization matched it, and a number of other people did as well. We raised $20,000 in a little over 4 months.
Wow.
And we did all sorts of things. Working with a local restaurants, and the whole thing where you go and you get 20% of the receipts for a given night or whatever. There's a number of local restaurants that do that. We did a car wash, we did a bake sale, all the things that you typically think of Girl Scouts doing. I mean, we did those sorts of things.
But it's $17,000 for the home,
right.
But you raised $20,000.
Right.
What did you do with that extra money?
Well, with the extra money, we bought some additional furniture, but we also bought a goat, which I didn't know what we were going to do with this goat. And when we went down there to finish out the house, the Haitian men built the cinder block walls and put the roof on, and we went down and we painted it and we built the furniture. Well, I say we built it. The Haitian guys did it, and we watched them. But we went out and got to pick the goat, which was actually kind of funny because the goat only had one ear. But it was a year ago that we built this house. And one of the ladies who was in our group, she is actually down in Haiti as we're speaking on another trip. And she ran into the family that we built the home for. And they now have 4 goats. So I think the goat went out and had a good time. But they're using the goat for milk, and from what I understand, they're also helping other families in the community. It's an amazing thing that these guys have done, and they've given everything to do this because they have a heart for it. So where this all kind of started, where I think Kelly kind of got turned on to this was, Facebook's always super friendly when you
And
get
Mel, huge Facebook fan, biggest Facebook fan out there, by the way. Giant, big
Yeah.
Team Facebook, Mel, hashtag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 2 weeks, tomorrow's my birthday. And thank you. About 2 weeks ago, Facebook was kind enough to throw, hey, you want to raise money for something? Yeah, sure. And so I picked Welcome Home Haiti, and I said I would match the first $250 that came in, and I had a goal of raising $1,000. And to date, it's sitting at about $565, and it closes down in about another week or so.
And we'll include a link to all of that for folks if they're interested.
Yeah, they've done a nice job on social media. Certainly Facebook, but there is a www.welcomehomehaiti.com, which explains what they do, how they do it, and what their goals and their purposes are. And Steve's a real good buddy of mine. Shelley's a phenomenal woman, and when they adopted those 3 girls, and honestly, I think one of them is Haitian, and I think the other 2 are actually from the south side of Chicago. But they love on those kids, and the girls are being raised down there. They're in their teens now. So that's kind of the high level flyover of what it is. And if people are interested, they can certainly donate through the welcomehomehaiti.com site. Certainly if they wanted to go to Facebook and donate to mine, that would be outstanding. But we're slowly looking to raise funds to build another house. And there's a whole mechanism that goes with this. You raise the entirety of the funds. When you get to halfway, they start building the home. That's enough money to employ the individuals. And then you get on a timetable to say, okay, do you want to come down and help finish out the house and turn it over to the family and dedicate it to them? If you do, by all means, they love that. It is on your own dime because they are trying to keep costs down. And that's what we did. I will tell you, my personal recommendation would be don't do it in June. It is brutal. It is super hot. But I went down there last year, and I mean, I'm a sweater.
I can verify that.
I have never sweated like that in my life. But there is the family that we raised funds to build a home for. Mom and dad, 6 kids, grandma and grandpa both lived there. And there were some, I'll say, distant relatives that also participated or lived there as well. I'm not exactly sure the full family dynamic, but it was 13 or 14 people that lived in this home. But they were thrilled. I don't want to make it sound that this is a thing that you do to make yourself feel good. While you certainly do, you're giving an opportunity to a family who otherwise wouldn't have it. And, certainly there are very good organizations within the confines of the United States. And by all means, I would strongly recommend people participate in those things. But if you really want to see a dollar make a difference, this is something that can do it. And truly, the funds that we raised, we got them from staunch, Bible Belt kind of Christian people and atheists, in the whole spectrum. And there's no judgment there. It's not like, oh, we're gonna try to force somebody to think the way I think necessarily. It's about helping the fellow man.
Right.
And that's where I really enjoy it. And I mean, I think so much of Steve and Shelley and all the things that they've done, and they've had a rough road. But they, what Steve had told me one time was, you can either wallow in your sorrow or you can make something good out of it. And he saw how his boy who passed loved the Haitian folks, and he wanted to honor them. And then that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, and so bringing it back to nurture and support, as we all know, our main goal is to do a Kickstarter to get us a 3D printer for Mel.
Yes.
This is she's going to be the official custodian of the Nurture and Support 3D printer, and while you need to start preparing to donate significantly to that.
They're coming down in price every day.
That's right. It's going to be a steal. And this needs to remain important, but maybe to stretch the muscles, to get familiar with giving, maybe making a difference to on something like this. So the recommendation, and I kind of sprung this on Mel as a desired item for Nurture and Support, and she was kind enough to go along with it, is, as Tim kind of told the story of what they're doing, I thought it was just a fascinating story of what's happening down there and creating an economy and all of that. Whether it's through welcomehomehaiti.com, or we'll include links to that, and as well as what Tim has going on Facebook as well. The idea to kind of help make a difference there is great. And it will get you in the practice for the more important, getting Nurture and Support, a 3D printer.
What's a 3D printer run these days?
Well,
they're coming down to about $6.99 is about the cheapest I have seen one, but that's getting affordable.
Right. And go ahead.
But honestly, I would hope all of our listeners know that I do value human life far more than my desire for a 3D printer. Tim and Kelly sent me a video of an intro for Welcome Home Haiti, and I'll include that on the blog post, but it really gives you a visual impact of the difference between the stick homes that these people are living in compared to these cinder block homes that they are building for them. And it's really cool. I love these kind of projects. And sorry, my cat's went a little crazy there.
It's interesting because if people don't know, Haiti is on the same. It's on an island called Hispaniola that's shared with Dominican Republic, and a lot of people. There actually are some destinations for cruise ships to stop in Haiti, and it's interesting because the cruise ships will stop there, and it's very commercialized. And Haiti's beautiful. It's in the Caribbean. It's wonderful. Haiti's a beautiful country. But those places, there's like a 12-foot fence around them, and they keep the ne'er-do-wells, so to speak, out. And you go outside of that fence, and you get to see what the real Haiti's like. And it is an absolutely beautiful country. I was telling Kelly before we started, it's particularly beautiful if you just don't look down, because there's a lot of garbage and because they have no infrastructure. But if you were just to look at the mountains and the foliage, and I mean, it is a Caribbean island. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the people are phenomenal, very caring, very loving. And it's just, I keep going back because it fulfills me a little bit. And I don't want to make that sound like it's all about Tim, because it's certainly not. Every time I have come back, I've appreciated things. And I even had the opportunity to take my oldest boy when he was 13 years old. And I took him down twice when he was 13 and 14. And we went on a mission trip, and he did some construction stuff, which, Kelly, probably not a surprise to you. Daniel wanted to crawl up on the roof and do all that kind of fun stuff. But they're just a phenomenal people, and we live in our little cocoon in Texas or in Illinois, and we don't really fully have an appreciation for the challenges that people have. We might think we have it hard,
right.
But a lot of these kids, they don't get a hot meal ever, and they eat these things called dirt cookies. And I mean, it's you see these kids and they just break your heart, but then they have this joy about them that you just cannot go there and come back unchanged.
So 95% of Nurture and Support tonight is about Welcome Home Haiti. Sporting that. Don't forget about the 3D printer gang. We're going to come back, just to keep balance to the force.
If she was more of a Facebook person, she could like start her own,
fundraising
for 3D printers.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out. We'll get there, but this is a slightly nobler cause. But
Yes.
So we wanted to kind of share this, folks, from an awareness. The video we'll include in the blog post is pretty amazing. It's stark in contrast between the living conditions before and after. It's pretty amazing, and with what Steve and Shelley have done to go down there and actually create an economy for people to actually have employment to help support the creation of these very, very cool stuff. And so, as Tim kind of explained, I thought this would be kind of a fun thing to make sure that we made our listeners aware of. They got a couple options. We'll provide them there if they wanted to provide their support, and I think that'll be it would be actually very, very cool. So a little different nurture and support this week, but felt like it was worth it to me, and kind of an interesting thing to do. So I don't think for this week, unless you happen to have a social media recommendation. I don't suppose Welcome Home Haiti has like a Twitter account or anything, do they?
That's a great question. Well, why don't you guys
Instagram maybe?
I would imagine they do, but I'll check.
We can do some creative editing if we need to here while he checks on that.
I do want to say I greatly appreciate the opportunity. This is something that, I don't make a big deal of it, but, when we get an opportunity to talk about this, it is certainly something that my wife and I are both very, very invested in this. Some very good friends we have are the founders of it. And I could literally have hundreds of people that I know that have participated in these things. And I've never found anybody go, gosh, that really wasn't worth it. So.
Yeah, no, that's kind of an experience I think that changes people, and all of us need to reach out a little bit more to experience that, because we live in, I live in a rural area where we have a lot of poor people, but nothing like what these people go through. So I think it's well worth looking into and giving any little extra that you have. It's so hard to, I imagine for a couple to start something like this, the dedication you have to do this on your own. I know there's other organizations, larger organizations, that do the kind of stuff when you talk about the goat. That's an actual thing that another charity organization called World Builders does, that you give them money, and they actually, what you're doing is giving them money for chickens or a cow or goats for these families, and the difference that it makes in their lives, and what they've shown that just something like that, and it gives them an income. And the difference that it makes.
Yeah, there's another organization called Samaritan's Purse, and you can, for a Christmas gift, rather than going out and buying somebody a Lego thing or whatever, you can give a family a cow. You donate X number of dollars, and in the Haitian example, that goat that's lifeblood.
Right.
So it's amazing.
Right, and we in our industrialized society don't think, what are you going to do with a goat? But the difference it makes in these people, in the quality of their lives, is just amazing to us. Even me with my flock of chickens and my rural living, I don't rely on those chickens for food. They're pets, but they produce eggs. And most of the time I'm giving those eggs away to people. So we just don't look at it the same way as the difference in the lives of these people that it makes to them. And it's really important. So I think it's a very excellent cause. I'm really glad that you came and talked to us about this.
Well, I don't like to hang out with Kelly very much, but this was one that I thought it'd be worth it.
Yeah. So speaking of which, we know that Tim has been on a show, but none of us can remember which one.
That's how memorable I am.
So
it was a long time
ago. So it couldn't have been, probably wasn't a nurture and support, and Tim's not exhibiting signs of PTSD that manifest themselves in Squat Cobbler alumni. So I'm thinking it had to be Snarkalic Radio.
There was a gentleman that you've mentioned before. I remember
Tony.
Yes.
Okay. Then it was Snarkalic Radio.
Yeah.
So, wow. So that goes way back. So you're on the kinder, gentler one here.
She's much more pleasant.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, pretty much.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
As long as Mike's not here, then I'm the nice one. Otherwise, Mike is the nice one.
Mike's never the nice one.
I've heard enough about him to know that that's probably not true.
He's a dark and evil man. And on that note, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. This will be one of the nurture and supports where the blog post is like incredibly important, because we'll have a number of links in there to Welcome Home Haiti, what Tim's doing on Facebook, and hopefully if we can find a way to kind of do a direct link into that video. I think that video does a fantastic job of painting the picture a little bit for folks. Mm-hmm. So give it a consideration. You can make a difference for fellow man and get into practice, because we're coming back for the 3D printer at some point in time.
Someday, maybe.
Someday, maybe. We'll go to that. And on that note, Tim, I'd like to thank you for joining us. Sure. And I have nothing else to add for this week, unless you do, Mel.
No, I think that does it. I think this is a really great, nurturing, and supportive show that we did today. Getting back to doing something nurturing.
And we'll be back to the other crap next time.
I think sometimes people don't know that that's a little sarcasm in there.
A little. We'll keep them guessing with this episode.
Sure. All right. Cool.
Great. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
You can contact us on our website, nurtureandsupport.net, or email us at nurtandsupp@gmail.com. That's NURTANDSUPP@gmail.com, or tweet us at nurtandsupp on Twitter.
Nurturing and supporting Haiti.